Hello friends and welcome to Malhotra's IAS. So for all those students who are joining us for the first time, let me first introduce you to this initiative that we have started at this academy. So from Monday to Saturday, we are bringing some of the most important current affair events in front of you related to different subjects ranging from polity, economy, geography, IR, social issues, and then some miscellaneous current affairs on Saturday with Akash sir. So I, Snigdha Singla, I'll be taking your international relations, world history and art and culture part. Okay, so last Thursday I discussed with you the issue of Ukraine and Russia, a very important current affair event that you all must know for your UPSC, mains as well as your state PCS examinations. So please go and watch that video also if you have not already. And today we are going to discuss another important issues with regard to your IR section, that is basically your GS2 paper in UPSC, right? So the issues of discussion for today will be the Indo-Pacific region, again a very important region, always in a news, and you might be getting confused again and again with different terminologies, different issues that come up in this region. So aaj we will be discussing all those issues and areas related to this region, so all your doubts will be clarified. As I have mentioned here, first of all we'll discuss here that what exactly is Indo-Pacific, right? Then we will go into understand the significance of this region, the economic significance, the strategic significance that this region hold, jiski wajah se this has become the center of all the activity in today's world affairs, right? Next we will move on to see the reasons of increasing relevance of Indo-Pacific in today's time, right? And then what should be India's policy for this Pacific region, Indo-Pacific region, and finally, what has India already done with regard to this region, right? Then the next topic of our discussion for today would be FATF, okay, Financial Action Task Force, right? So I am liking that you are already interested in this session. Some of you have already posted your comments. So doubts you have posted, that is a good question, but that will get solved as we continue in this discussion. If you still have doubts after the discussion is over, then you please again post it in the comment section, but I am sure that everything will get clarified once we discuss the topic in detail today here, right? Now let's begin the discussion, and with our first question, that what exactly is Indo-Pacific? So we are focusing so much on Indo-Pacific, it's very important first of all to understand what exactly is Indo-Pacific, right? So see, different countries, different regions interpret Indo-Pacific in different ways. So you see in this map itself, you will see that different countries, this map represent how different European countries see this Indo-Pacific region in different manner, okay? All these lines represent how the European countries view the Indo-Pacific in as per their understanding. So different countries को different interpretation हो सकती है. What matters to us is the interpretation of the bigger nations or the Quad nations, that is your US, Australia, India and Japan, right? So according to US and Australia, they see the region ranging from India towards Pacific as the Indo-Pacific region, right? But for India and Japan, the interpretation is broader, okay? So the entire West African continent with Asian continent, according to them, comprises the Indo-Pacific. So you see the extra interpretation that they see for this region lies here, right? So different countries have different interpretation, but our Indian government recognizes the western coast of Africa starting from here till the, Western Pacific as the Indo-Pacific region, right? Whereas for USA and Australia, it starts from here, from the Indian coast towards the Western Pacific, right? So there is little bit difference in the interpretation of this definition of this word, okay? But what matters to us, what you will write in your UPSC exam is what Indian government believes in. So for us, the entire the region starting from the western coast of Africa to the Western Pacific is what comprises of Indo-Pacific, right? That you have to understand. Now, see, this region was earlier, before the Cold War or even after the Cold War, was known as the Asia Pacific region. Okay, it was known as the Asia Pacific. You see, majority of the area is comprised by Asia and Pacific. So it was majorly known as the Asia Pacific. But now, since the relevance of India is growing in this region, India is a major economy in this region. India is a major democracy in this region. India is a major security provider in this region. So because of the increasing significance of India in this region, Indo-Pacific has come to be, recognized with the role of India. So Asia Pacific से ये Indo-Pacific बना, one because of the Indian Ocean here, right? And second, now this word Indo is getting related to the significance or the role that India plays in this Indo-Pacific region, right? So there is increasing recognition of the central role of India in this region. तो आप जो भी European countries देख लीजिए, France, Germany or even America, Australia, every country wants to collaborate with India to maintain their influence or, leverage the potential of this region. Okay, for that they all need India. They want to collaborate with India to reap the benefits of this region. Benefits क्या है, significance क्या है, that I am going to discuss just after this slide. So, but you have to understand that India is increasingly important in this region because India is a major player, major power, major economy in this region, right? Now, as I said that there is lot of significance or benefits that are related to this region. That is why only this region has gained so much prominence all around the world, right? So आप देखिए कि the world's most populous country, that is China, that is located in this region, right? Then the world's largest democracy, that is India, that is located in this region, okay? Then the world's largest Muslim population country, can anyone tell me which is that country? World's largest Muslim population country, that is also located in this region. Can anyone tell me in the comment boxes, the box, that which is that country? Right. So that is why this region is highly important. So that the country with largest Muslim population is Indonesia, that is also located in this region, right? So that shows the significance of this region because itni population, world's, or more than 65% of world's population is residing in this area. Population lives here, that means major demand source for all the goods and services of the world lies in this region, right? Then most of your oil shipments pass through these regions, right? That is the direction of the flow of oil, right? Then the merchandise ships, the container ships, they pass through this region. Your ships containing energy resources, oil and natural gas, they pass through this region. Then there is lot of, marine biodiversity that is housed in this region. So for all these reasons, this area is of high significance, as you can see in these numbers. So these numbers are very important for you, for from your mains perspective. You must mention such kind of datas and maps to make your answers very effective. So inko please make a note of these points, right? there are at least 36 to 38 countries that lie on the coast of this region, right? तो उससे ही significance पता चलता है that so many countries are located in this region itself, okay? Then 65% of the world's population resides here. Then 62% of the world's GDP is generated by this region, right? Merchandise trade, as I told you, 48% या 46% passes through this area. Fine. Then the world's container trade, 55% passes through this, and then energy transport, 70% of that shipments of oil, of natural gas, all those energy resources pass through this area. So that is why this region is of very high economic and strategic significance. See, this is what the direction of oil flow has been, and even trade flows like that. You see, oil का major source क्या है? Middle East. Middle East is the major source of your oil for the entire world, and that is what starts from here and flows throughout the world. That is why also this entire Indo-Pacific is very important. जो इस Indo-Pacific पे dominate करेगा, they will also control the flow of all the products, oil, trade, merchant ships, everything will be under the control of that nation or that country who is able to create dominance over the sea routes or sea lanes of communication, as they are called. Sea lanes of communication, आपने बहुत बार ये word सुना होगा अपने current affairs में. It just means that these, you know, these routes through which all these commodities are passing, those are known as the sea lanes of communication, right? So इस sea lanes of communication का ही सारा खेल है. Whoever is able to dominate these sea lanes of communication, that country will, you know, leverage the most benefits of these regions, this region, right? Now, apart from this sea lanes of communication and the movement of goods and commodities from this region, the another important benefit that this region holds, the Indo-Pacific region holds, is the huge potential of blue economy. Huge potential of blue economy residing in this region. See, again, this blue economy is a very important topic from your UPSC perspective. Already in GS3, question has been asked on blue economy, and it can be again asked even in your international relations, as we are discussing it here with you know, in perspective of Indo-Pacific or any other region, and even in GS3 they can again ask. So very carefully understand this concept also. So blue economy is nothing but use of your marine resources in a sustainable manner. Sustainable means environment friendly, right? And create economic growth and development that is inclusive. Inclusive, that it provides jobs to people, it takes care of the interests of the fishermen or the coastal communities, okay? It generates wealth also for the lower stratas of the society. ठीक है, तो ऐसी ग्रोथ नहीं हो रही है कि only the rich are benefiting, right? That type of growth is not what blue economy desires. Blue economy wants a type of growth that take care of the environment as well as the people, the poor, the underserved people of the society, right? That is the basic understanding of blue economy, using marine resources to provide sustainable and inclusive growth, right? Now, these are the various components that are, you know, that form the part of blue economy. So first component is your fisheries, all the activities, you know, related to fisheries, that is your aquaculture, seafood processing, then, you know, fish sale and purchase, all that becomes the part of fisheries sector. That is a dominant sector of your blue economy. अगर आपको blue economy का लाभ उठाना है, then you will have to, you know, focus a lot on developing the fishery resources, leveraging the fishery resources of the ocean that we are considering, that is under consideration, that is your Indo-Pacific, right? Then see, this region is also holds great mineral wealth, Okay, so different minerals, iron, cobalt, manganese, sulfide, all those kind of mineral wealth is usually, thought to be reserved in this area of Indo-Pacific, right? So again, it becomes very important. Then the rare earth elements, which are, backbone of your electronics industry. 17 rare earth elements, if you know about them. Already a question in UPSC prelims has been asked on rare earth elements, so this is also very important. Do check it, why they are called rare, that is also important. Okay, so इस पे भी क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. So these rare earth elements are very important for your electronics industry, and that also can be extracted from this Indo-Pacific region in huge quantity. So that also increases the significance of this region, right? Fourth is, as I have already discussed, shipping and trade passes through this region. Majority of the world's shipping and trade passes through this region, and that also contributes to the significance of Indo-Pacific region. Then blue economy also comprises tourism activities, water sports, adventure tourism, nature tourism. Everything included also forms the part of blue economy and increases the significance also of Indo-Pacific. ये सारे points we are discussing within the significance of Indo-Pacific. The major heading is that it contributes in, it will provide us the benefits of blue economy, and all these are the components of blue economy, right? The sixth component is the renewable energy. We know कि हम waves से energy generate कर सकते हैं. We can get tidal energy, right? Offshore, onshore. Okay, so all these renewable energies, okay, they'll provide us an alternative to the oil dependency that we have, especially India has. So in that way also, Indo-Pacific is very important. That is, again, a significance of this region. Finally, the polymetallic nodules, okay, they are also found in rich quantity in this region. You can see that we are seeing that different countries, including China and India, have launched their deep sea mining missions to extract these polymetallic nodules. You find three kind of basically minerals in the Indian Pacific Ocean, that includes sulfide nodules, manganese nodules, and cobalt related crust. So these are very important for your electronics and industry and other industries. So that is why this Indo-Pacific is very significant, because it houses these polymetallic nodules in large quantity, right? So already India has a share of 4.1% in this blue economy, right? What India requires now is to further leverage the benefits of all these sectors. ठीक है, तो इंडो पैसिफिक का ये सिग्निफिकेंस है कि फर्स्टली हमारा ट्रेड यहाँ से पास करता है. Our oil passes from this region. Majority population is here, so majority demand is in this region, right? Then, that is why, along with the benefits the blue economy of this region will provide, this Indo-Pacific region is highly significant for all the countries, including India, China, America, and European nations like France, Germany, UK. ठीक है, तो इन सब benefits की वजह से ही you see Indo-Pacific has gained so much relevance in today's time, right? Like I told you that mineral resources are present. That is why deep sea mining missions are being conducted in these regions. It is estimated the natural resource wealth of this region ranges to $333 billion US. Itni, natural resources ki wealth is found in this region. Then the next advantage is also related to marine biotechnology. Jaise for example, you see the seaweeds that we extract from the ocean. They are very nutritious foods. They also provide many health benefits. They are good for the skin also, right? They are also a storehouse of large biodiversity of fishes, of corals, and all that stuff. So in that way, you can extract, minerals and resources from the Indian Ocean and then create them into usable products for the humanity, like pharmaceutical products. बहुत सारे सी के resources use होते हैं दवाइयाँ बनाने के लिए, pharmaceutical drugs बनाने के लिए, right? Cosmetics, as I told you, face products बनाने के लिए, skin products बनाने के लिए, you use the resources of the Indo-Pacific Ocean that you extract from that region. Okay, nutritional benefits are also there. So in that way, marine biotechnology is another key area that is of significance when we talk about Indo-Pacific, right? So these were all the main economic benefits of this Indo-Pacific region. Now we will move on to the strategic significance of Indo-Pacific. Okay? Till now we have discussed that what is Indo-Pacific. Then we moved to the economic significance of Indo-Pacific, that is movement of commodities, presence of large population, large demand in this area. Okay? Then the potential of blue economy in this area, right? And then marine resources and marine biotechnology, right? Now what is the strategic significance of this area? So you see, हमने ये तो डिस्कस किया कि there is lot of trade and commodity that is passing through this area. Now there are some strategic locations in this entire region कि अगर कोई इन strategic locations को block या choke कर दे, so all the movement that we discussed of oil, of trade, that can be blocked. Okay, so it's like कि ये सांस लेने वाली सांस लेने के पॉइंट्स हैं इंडियन ओशियन के ट्रेड और ऑयल मूवमेंट के. इफ यू ब्लॉक दीज पॉइंट्स, no trade or oil will move from this region. So that is why they are called as the choke points. You can choke or strangle the entire Indo-Pacific economy if you choke or control these key points. What are these key choke points? Bab al-Mandeb, related in the Gulf of Aden, here near the eastern African coast. Then the Strait of Hormuz, related located at the head of Arabian Sea, near to Iran and Saudi Arabia, right? Then there is Strait of Malacca, we all know, located near Andaman and Nicobar Islands, right? These are the major choke points. Others also you can see in this map. Any country whosoever dominates these choke points, they have lot of say in the movement of commodities and trade and investments all over this region. So you see 90,000 commercial shipping vessels pass through these regions all throughout the world or all throughout the year. ठीक है, जो सारा ट्रेड जो होता है 90,000 से ज़्यादा वेसल्स जो हैं उस ट्रेड को लेके इस रीजन से पास करते हैं, इन चोक पॉइंट्स को पास करते हैं. Okay, so that is why these choke points are very crucial. They can block the movement of such high number of trading vessels, right? 40% of oil supply also goes through these choke points. ठीक है, तो इन चॉक पॉइंट्स को हमने ब्लॉक, जिस कंट्री ने ब्लॉक कर दिया, दैट विल कंट्रोल द मूवमेंट ऑफ शिपिंग वेसल्स एंड ऑयल सप्लाई फ्रॉम दिस रीजन. That is why also Indo-Pacific is strategically very significant. Whoever can dominate these areas, these key areas, will dominate the flow of economic advantages through this area, right? So that is the strategic significance after the economic significance that we already discussed, right? Now अब देखिए, the next question that arises is that कि Indo-Pacific has always been there on the map of the world. So why is that now we are hearing so much about Indo-Pacific and it was not that of relevance or in the earlier times? Okay, so there are two reasons why the relevance of your Indo-Pacific is increasing to such a high level in current times. One is the eastward shift of world's economic center of gravity, right? तो देखिए, पहले सारी economy was located in your European countries, your Silk Route area, and your Middle East, that was the hub of oil. Pehle oil was the artery, Europe was the industrial house of the world, Silk route was the main transport route, right? तो इसीलिए उस region की significance was very high compared to any other region in the world. But now, as we have already discussed, that 65% of world's population lives in this area, Indo-Pacific area. 70% oil shipments pass through this area. 56, more than that, commercial shipments pass through this area. Majority of the demand is located in this area because of the high concentration of population. So you see, entire economic activity is shifting to this area now. Earlier, the activity that was lying in Europe and your Central Asian part is now shifting to this Indo-Pacific part. That is what has increased the strategic relevance of this area, right? That is the first region. Now, the second region is, along with the increase in the economic relevance of this area, there is another player, that is China, that is also gained assertiveness in this area. You see, today China is one of the largest economy of the world, the second largest economy of the world. It also has a very modernized military and naval presence in Indian Ocean. So all your bigger countries now, US, UK, France, Germany, who used to dominate economics in the previous times, now they are threatened with the rise of this country, that is China, because now China has all the wherewithal or all the instruments or the finances, infrastructure to dominate this center of economic activity, right? US वगैरह को भी मात देके China will be leveraging the majority benefits of this area. So with the increase in the footprint and assertiveness of China in this region, your West has risen up to the understanding the strategic significance of this region. So because of these two regions, economic significance and the rise of China, the relevance of Indo-Pacific has also increased in current times, right? Okay, so now we have discussed till now that what is Indo-Pacific, its significance, economic, strategic, okay, and then why the relevance of Indo-Pacific is increasing in current times. Now there are several challenges also that are present that hinder us from leveraging the or reaping the entire benefits of Indo-Pacific, that we will discuss one by one. So the first challenge obviously comes from China. China is such a dominant country in this region that all the other countries feel threatened that they may not be able to reap the benefits of the region as much as they can, because China has dominant presence in this region, and that will prevent the interests of other countries from getting realized, right? So देखिए उन्होंने अपनी presence start कैसे की थी. China started with the string of pearls. We all know a very famous project that was thought ki is being built to contain India. So that was to counter check the influence of India in this region, okay? But now we know that this string of pearls has been transformed into a new economic and strategic project, that is your Belt and Road Initiative. Belt and Road Initiative, where belt signifies the land routes that China will undertake or make under this project, and the road signifies the maritime Silk Road that China has envisioned in this project. Okay, what is basically BRI? These are basically set of infrastructural projects that China intends to undertake in various countries around the world, as they are shown in this map. ठीक है, इसमें बेसिकली चाइना क्या करेगा? चाइना विल बी बिल्डिंग रोड्स, एयरवेज, और शिप वेज, Okay, and all this kind of infrastructural projects China will undertake in various countries, right? So now, how is BRI a threat? How is BRI a threat for Indo-Pacific? How is it a challenge? So BRI is a threat firstly because China is the only major provider of finance in this region. So you see, this Indo-Pacific region is mainly comprised of small countries, small ASEAN countries, आपकी Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore, Indonesia, or you know African countries. हमारे purpose के लिए India considers Africa also as the part of Indo-Pacific. So all these smaller countries are in the need of finance. They need to build their infrastructure. They also want to create development in their countries. So they need a lot of external financing, right? Now that financing is what is being provided by China under the BRI project. Now the issue is here that China is the major provider of these finance. Even USA or any other big country cannot match the type of financing that China has provided in this region. So as it is being said, कि money talks in Indo-Pacific region and nobody has spoken loudly than China in that terms. ठीक है, तो मेजर फाइनेंसिंग एंटिटी क्या है? चाइना. देयर इज नो मेजर ऑल्टरनेटिव फॉर दी स्मॉलर कंट्रीज इन दिस रीजन कि वो किसी और से जाके अपनी नीड्स के लिए फाइनेंस ले सके, पैसा ले सके. ऐसे ऑल्टरनेटिव्स आर नॉट अवेलेबल. दे आर हाईली डिपेंडेंट ऑन चाइना टू अचीव देयर डेवलपमेंटल गोल्स, राइट. दूसरा BRI का इशू इज द डेट ट्रैप्स दैट इट क्रिएट्स. Right. So as I told you that under BRI, China gives loans to the, you know, these smaller, poorer nations. So what happens is usually China finances these projects in very unsustainable way. These small countries are not able to pay back these loans, right? So they are not able to pay back this debt or loans that they are taken from China. So what China says कि आप हमें लोन पे बैक करने के लिए, डेट फर्स्ट डेट पे बैक करने के लिए टेक अनदर डेट टू पे बैक द फर्स्ट डेट, राइट. पहले ही आपके कर्जा चढ़ा हुआ है, उस कर्जे को पे करने के लिए आप और कर्जा ले लीजिए, राइट. दैट इज व्हाट चाइना डज. तो कर्जे पे कर्जा कंट्री पे चढ़ता रहता है एंड दैट इज व्हाट क्रिएट्स द डेट ट्रैप फॉर अ स्मॉलर नेशन. एज वी सॉ इन श्रीलंका, Sri was the victim of this debt trap, because of which Sri Lanka had no other option but to lease out its Hambantota port. Okay, the famous Hambantota port, right. तो वो ऐसे ही डेट पे डेट लेते रहे. Eventually they could not, you know, in any way they could not repay back to the, you know, Chinese government. So at the end they had to lease out this port for 99 years, 99 years to China. So now, you know, in all the terms that port is with China only. 99 years के लिए China would be freely conducting its activities in this Hambantota port of Sri Lanka. So देखिए, such a strategic location China has acquired in this Indian Pacific region because of its BRI project. Okay, तो अब देखिए इस डेट ट्रैप्स का कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव भी नहीं है. US वगैरह डोमिनेंट फाइनेंस दे आर नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग इन दिस रीजन. So these countries have no other option but to go to China only. So that is how China and its BRI project is a huge threat to the Indo-Pacific region and to the outside other countries who want to dominate this region, right. Similar thing China has done in Djibouti. They have built their first military base there, although not because of debt trap but because Djibouti is also a, you know, small nation. They were also in the need of finance, so promising them finance in return for giving China the permission to make a military base there. That is how China operated in Djibouti. The first method, giving finance for development and taking their land for their own benefit. That is what they use in Djibouti. So that is how China is. As I told you कि Indian Ocean में बहुत सारे choke points हैं. Now China has positioned itself strategically at this Bab al-Mandeb choke point, right? So इस तरीके से China is operating in this region that threatens the interests, the free movement of commodities and trade in this entire Indo-Pacific region, right? This is a very important concept. I hope you have understood it. This is what I explained, that the indebted countries have no other option. They have to abide by whatever China says. China is simply using that idea that we say, paisa fake, tamasha dekh. So they give money to the needy countries and extract whatever benefit they want to from these countries. So now they will be, dominating the trade routes. They will be monopolizing the strategic choke points that I showed you in the map. They are colonizing these countries. Like I told you, 99 years ke liye Hambantota port they have acquired. Right, this is the kind of neo-colonization or neo-imperialism that we are seeing. This is happening in Africa as well as in this Indo-Pacific region because of the, debt trap diplomacy of China, right? And it is also increasing its territorial assertions because of its debt trap diplomacy, right? So that is a grave challenge for the free and open Indo-Pacific. Okay, now Indo-Pacific may not remain free and open for all because China is positioning itself very strategically in this region, because of which China can choke the free movement of goods and trade from the Indo-Pacific region. So that is the first challenge. Second challenge also comes from China, and that challenge is that China ने अपनी बहुत सारे surveillance vessels and research vessels it has positioned all around the Indo-Pacific. So all the yellow lines that you are seeing here are the surveillance activities of China that are happening in this Indo-Pacific region. So what is the benefit that China gets out of this surveillance activity is that it can develop the ocean database. तो अब जैसे समझ लीजिए, it has to one day attack India, maybe just a hypothetical example, through the ocean route, and in a secret way it has to do. For that it has to come through secret routes. और वो secret routes कैसे पता चलेंगे? Through this surveillance activity, they are mapping the entire ocean floor and finding out ways to reach towards India or even other countries. This was just an example. So that is how they are mapping the ocean floor to use it for their naval operations, right? That is the first threat that their surveillance operations have for the countries like India, US and all other dominant countries that have a stake in Indo-Pacific, right? Second is that they are also able to map the resources of the ocean. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि there are manganese, there is cobalt, there is sulfide, iron, nickel that is found in this Indo-Pacific region. ठीक है, तो उसको extract वही country कर पाएगी that is able to locate those resources, right? So with this surveillance activity, they are locating those resources and they will be able to reap the benefits of these economic resources once they properly map the seabed of this Indo-Pacific region, right? So that is the second benefit that China will have, and that is the second threat for the other Indo-Pacific dominant countries who want a stake in the Indo-Pacific's resources, right? थर्ड इज़ अब साइंस बेस्ड रिसर्च होगी, उसमें जब भी कोई से आएगा मरीन रिसर्च के बारे में, अगर कोई भी डिस्कशन होगी, कोई भी कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी, दैट इज़ वेयर चाइना विल हैव लीडिंग रोल बिकॉज इट हैज़ द majority ocean related data, right? Fourth is also related to that whenever the world sits to make rules for this ocean for the use of these ocean resources, at that time also China will have a huge say, because it will have the majority data related to this marine scientific research, right? So it will sit there setting the rules of marine research and marine resources use, right? All that will give a dominant position to China, and a dominant position to China in Indo-Pacific is a threat for all other countries like US, UK, India, France, Germany, all of whom have a stake in the resources and benefits provided by Indo-Pacific, right? So that was the next challenge present in Indo-Pacific. The next challenge is related to India's naval capacity. ठीक है, India की navy is very underfinanced. Okay, they do not have much submarines, they do not have, you know, aircraft carriers. Okay, whatever we had, they are retiring. So that is why Indian Navy, which used to be one of the finest at some point, is now under resourced. Okay, so उसकी भी बहुत बड़ा challenge होगा. If there is a Chinese threat to us from the naval side, we should have a strong navy that can fight that Chinese threat in this Indo-Pacific region. But we are seeing कि हमारी navy is not that strong to fight this challenge in the Indo-Pacific. Okay, so that becomes the third challenge. First challenge was Chinese presence, its BRI project, creating debt traps and not having any other alternative country to finance projects in Indo-Pacific, right? That was the first challenge. Second was China's surveillance program, and the third challenge is lack of naval capacity of India. Okay, so these are the major challenges related to China that we see in Indo-Pacific. Now, the region Indo-Pacific has challenges other than China also, that was related to how China will dominate Indo-Pacific. Those were the challenges related to that. But now there are many other challenges that every country of the world faces with regard to Indo-Pacific, and those challenges are as follows. First is the maritime terrorism. So any terrorist activity that is undertaken by the sea route or attacking the sea assets itself, जैसे कि हम ships को, vessels को, merchant vehicles को, अगर आप vessels को attack करते हैं with the terrorist ideology, that is what is known as marine terrorism. So that is also a very grave threat in today's time in the Indo-Pacific region, right? Then we also have this piracy. You might have already heard a lot about piracy. This is nothing but what we call as samundri luteres. ठीक है, तो जो चोर या लुटेरे you see when you travel through sea, that is what is piracy. So you see Somalia is the major center of piracy in Indian Pacific region today. This map shows that how their expanse has been increasing. Piracy पहले इतने area में होती थी, now it has increased to this level, right? Okay, that is how piracy is impacting this region, right? Now there is a movie that is Captain Phillips. This is based on a real life story related to piracy, how pirates they kidnap this person, Captain Philip, of a naval vessel. So you can also watch this movie to better understand the challenges that Indo-Pacific faces that we are discussing here. Okay, so this is the second challenge after marine terrorism. Then there is challenge of climate change, disasters that are increasing. We already saw tsunami in 2004. So that kind of challenges are also grave in this region. Human trafficking is high. Then we see overfishing and unregulated fishing. You see here bottom trawling, dynamite fishing. All these create threat to whatever benefits that we can get from Indo-Pacific, right? These are unsustainable ways of, getting economic benefits. But as I told you, we need blue economy, that is sustainable way to leverage the benefits of the ocean, right? So that were all the challenges that we discussed, first related to China and then the other challenges: terrorism, piracy, climate change, disasters and human trafficking, and unregulated overfishing and illegal fishing happening in Indo-Pacific. Please make a note of all these points. In UPSC you can be asked a question on any of these aspects, ki what are the challenges in Indo-Pacific or what is the significance or the relevance of Indo-Pacific. तो आप ये सारे points you can mention there with the maps that I have shown. That will fetch you a great amount of score in those questions in UPSC, right? Now अब Indian government ने क्या approach अपनाई है? What approach has Indian government adopted for leveraging, reaping the benefits of this region? So first most important keyword is Sagar approach, security and growth for all in the region. So PM Modi and even our government re-emphasizes on this fact that we want security for all plus growth for everyone in the Indo-Pacific. तो ऐसा नहीं होना कि चाहिए कि कोई एक country, for example China, dominates this region and they threaten the security and they just focus on their own growth. India does not want such type of a mechanism. India wants security for all, growth for all in the region. Har country, Philippines, Vietnam, Singapore, Indonesia, Mozambique, India, every country located in this region to get the benefits of growth and to have secure interest in the region. That is what India propagates with regard to this region. Since 2015 we have adopted this approach and we still make this as our base of our operations in this region. तो इस कीवर्ड को हमेशा याद रखना है, mention it in your answers related to Indo-Pacific, right? The next initiative that India launched was Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative. ठीक है, तो इसके अंडर इंडिया ने 7 pillars पे India has decided to focus on 7 pillars, okay, on which it will operate. That is ensuring maritime security, leveraging the maritime resources जितने भी हैं उनको extract करना, maritime ecology को preserve करना, so and then डिज़ास्टर्स के रिस्क को रिड्यूस करना, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी कोऑपरेशन पे फोकस करना और मैरीटाइम ट्रेड को बूस्ट करना एंड फाइनली कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग. सो इंडिया पैसिफिक में जितनी भी कंट्रीज़ हैं उनके साथ इंडिया विल कोलैबोरेट ऑन ऑल दीज 7 पिलर्स: सिक्योरिटी, डिज़ास्टर मैनेजमेंट, ट्रेड, रिसोर्स यूज़, capacity building and science and technology. So India will collaborate on these 7 pillars with all the countries that are located in the Indo-Pacific. Okay, that is the second initiative. Then a huge range of initiative and steps India has taken. ठीक है, जल्दी से डिस्कस कर लेते हैं. One is establishing special Indo-Pacific division to focus on this India-Pacific region. ठीक है, फिर डीप ओशन मिशन इंडिया की कैबिनेट ने पास कर दिया है टू फोकस ऑन दी पॉलीमेटालिक नोड्यूल्स सो दैट इंडिया कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट दीज पॉलीमेटालिक नोड्यूल्स एंड रीप दी इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट्स ऑफ दीज minerals like manganese, cobalt, as I have told you. Okay, then you see Sagarmala mission, that is port infrastructure development mission, has been launched by India. That will also help us to operate in a free and well manner in this Indo-Pacific region. Port infrastructure तो होना ही चाहिए if we want to leverage the benefits of blue economy, right? तो उसके लिए सागरमाला mission launch हुआ है. Quad initiative we have. Then we also have regional cooperation with smaller or other East Asian countries in the form of BIMSTEC, Mekong Ganga cooperation, ASEAN के साथ हमारे पास FTA है. तो in that way India is interacting with all these regional powers. We have security cooperation. And now we have also started active military diplomacy. See, earlier India used to restrict military cooperation with these smaller nations like Vietnam, Philippines, because it thought that it may offend China, and China may take some adverse action against India. But now India is realizing that its interests lie in collaborating with these smaller countries like Philippines and Vietnam also, to militarily empower these nations to stand or take a strong stand against Chinese misendeavors in South China Sea or Indian Ocean region. ठीक है, इसीलिए देखिए इंडिया ने लेटेस्ट लेवल पे फिलीपींस को ब्रह्मोस मिसाइल की बैटरीज भी प्रोवाइड की थी. That is what is being termed as the active military diplomacy. This is also a keyword. Please do mention this in your answers. Right? So these are all the steps that India has taken. So India has also positioned itself very well. ऐसा नहीं है कि only China has made their string of pearls in the Indian Ocean. India is also very smart and well doing country. So India ने भी अपना बहुत सारा coastal surveillance infrastructure they have positioned in these areas. Okay, then there are lot of ports also that India has acquired that you can already see in this map. So India has also created lot of port and coastal infrastructure to one, counter check China, to leverage the economic benefits that Indo-Pacific region provides. ठीक है, तो India has taken lot of steps. Now still there is some approach or some strategy that India needs to follow to be very successful in this region to fight China. So that requires a two pronged approach. India's future in Indo-Pacific should be determined by this two pronged approach. India's strategy in the Indo-Pacific should be governed by this two pronged approach, which is development centric approach towards the smaller nations like Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, all these Southeast Asian and African countries. There India needs to focus on development aspects. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा कि they need development finance, they need to work on poverty alleviation, hunger alleviation, create educational infrastructure, health infrastructure. So that is the level where India need to collaborate with these countries. That should be its first strategy. The second strategy should be to focus on security collaboration with bigger countries, that is the Quad countries, जैसे US, Japan, Australia, even France, Germany, all the European countries also. There India should focus on security collaboration because they are bigger countries, they have more military wherewithal. Okay, so India can collaborate in military और security terms. ठीक है, उनके साथ एक्सरसाइजेस की जाए, नेवल एक्सरसाइजेस की जाए, उनसे मिलिट्री इक्विपमेंट बाय किया जाए, उनके साथ इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग की जाए, इंटेलिजेंस इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग, सर्विलेंस इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग, सो दैट इंडिया कैन स्ट्रेंथन इट्स सिक्योरिटी प्रिपेयर्डनेस इन द इंडो पैसिफिक. राइट, तो एक तरफ India will be providing an alternative for these smaller countries other than China in the region to collaborate, and on the second hand अपनी security को strengthen करेगा. Right, so this is the region that I was talking about that India needs to focus with regard to development. So you see already India's Prime Minister Mr. Modi has said that we need to focus on 3 C's for this region. You may refer to it as Asian region or Southeast Asia broadly. Okay, so we need to provide connectivity with these regions, we need to have good commerce, trade, investments with these regions, and we need to connect on cultural grounds. Buddhism, for example, originated from India and went on to these Southeast Asian nations. So that can be a common ground of connect between these two nations. Here connectivity means infrastructural connectivity, road connectivity, railways, airways, all that should be there so that there is a free and quick movement of goods, money, people from India to all these regions. ठीक है, तो फिर India will be a partner nations a partner nation of these smaller countries and will be leveraging the benefits of Indo-Pacific also. Indo-Pacific का benefit ही ये है कि यहाँ से trade pass हो, यहाँ से oil pass हो, यहाँ से minerals आप extract करें. All that is possible when India has good infrastructure and good connectivity with the nations of this region, right? That is what it is. Now India, you know, in smaller countries के साथ connect करने के लिए what India needs to do, complete the pending projects. Like you see, there is Kaladan multi-modal project with Myanmar that is pending, that needs to be completed. India needs to take leadership role in this region, right? जो भी इनकी needs है countries की, that needs to be provided. Their issues need to be highlighted on the global fora. So these countries will have larger confidence in India and they will be highly likely in collaborating with India, right? तो अब जैसे bilateral और minilateral level पे भी collaborate करना चाहिए इंडिया को, because on multilateral level, that is RCEP, mainly India did not join, and then APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, there India is not a member. So अब option क्या बचता है? What is the option that is left with India is to collaborate on bilateral level or minilateral level, जैसे कि Mekong Ganga cooperation है, that 5 countries are there, or BIMSTEC is there, या 1-to-1 level bilateral level पे contact करे and economic cooperation पे focus करे, as I have already told. So that would be the first set of strategy. Second, as I told you, security strategy होनी चाहिए that focuses on leveraging convergences. जैसे कि आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ you converge on cyber security. They are also facing cyber security threats from China. We are also facing, so we can collaborate in that region. With Japan, we know कि Africa, for example, we have Asia Africa growth corridor with Japan. Okay, so Africa में भी one of the single largest investor is China. ठीक है, तो China के अलावा we are providing them an alternative by joining hands with Japan for Africa to depend on. ठीक है, तो इस type की convergences को we need to leverage. We need to strengthen our navy, as we discussed, and then Andaman and Nicobar Island, which is very strategically located, we need to use that also very properly for all these purposes, for research, surveillance, for checking China, and to even block an important choke point, that is Strait of Malacca, right? So that should be our security strategy. Finally, to leverage economic benefits, we should be improving our port infrastructure, removing trade barriers, regional levels pe we need to improve our governance, like I told you, bilateral conversations, minilateral conversations, that all we need to do, and also balancing our geopolitical tensions. So that is broadly what is required. So this is the entire picture of Indo-Pacific. We started by understanding, you know, the what of Indo-Pacific. Then we moved to the significance, in which we covered the economic significance, the blue economy potential, and you know, the strategic significance or the choke points that are located here, marine biotechnology, renewable energy, all that stuff, and then the challenges that are first posed by China through its BRI project and surveillance ships, and then other challenges like terrorism, piracy, climate change, disasters, and all that stuff. And then we discussed the initiatives that India has taken, including Sagar approach, a very important approach. And finally, we discussed the strategy that India needs to use going forward. So see, this discussion has been quite long. We have already taken 1 hour. So the topic that I had to discuss, FATF, that I won't be able to discuss now, we will take up it in the next class. So I hope कि आपका Indo-Pacific is comprehensively covered after this discussion. If you still have doubts, you can post it in the comment box. We will respond to that. And also, please join us tomorrow again when we will be discussing some of the very important social issues. Drishti ma'am will be taking those issues. She will have an enriching conversation with you on the issues of NGOs and other social issues. So stay tuned. That was all for today. Thank you for joining.